Hey y'all, welcome back to Lotus Space TV. I'm Jamilia, licensed marriage and family therapist and founder of Lotus Space LLC. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I thought it would be a good idea to talk about the thing that affects each and every one of us. And I want to give some examples of good mental health versus poor mental health over different aspects of life. And I think this is important because many people believe that mental health only arises when there are negative emotions present or someone is exhibiting a behavior that doesn't look typical or normal to them. When in fact, we all have mental health. And good mental health isn't just about feeling happy all the time, it's about being able to cope with stress, being able to build healthy relationships, and bounce back from life challenges. So let's get into it. But before we get into it, if you like this content, don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe so that you'll know when new videos like this are posted. Let's begin. First, we have emotional regulation. And this is your capacity or ability to manage a range of emotions in a healthy way. When you have poor mental health, you are frequently overwhelmed by strong emotions such as anger, sadness, or anxiety, and you may have a difficult time calming down. An example of that would be someone who responds immediately with rage. When you have good mental health, you're able to experience a full range of emotions, but you're able to regulate them or manage them effectively. So, for an example, if you are driving and someone cuts you off, you initially become upset. You may beep the horn, you may curse, but then once you cross that light, you're good, right? That is not going to linger with you throughout the rest of your day. Next, we have thought patterns. When you have poor mental health, you may have persistent negative or distorted thinking. There's a lot of self criticism or hopelessness. You may feel like you're not good enough, you're too fat, you're always going to be broke. But when you have good mental health, you have realistic and balanced thinking, and you're able to challenge the negative thought. So if the thought is you're too fat, then you could challenge that negative thought by saying, well, I just created a new workout plan. So I know that I'm good. I know that my weight is going to improve. Next up is relationships, and everything is a relationship. When you have poor mental health, you have difficulty building or maintaining relationships. And this can be romantic relationships, work relationships, family members, friends. You may be socially withdrawn, and you may be in frequent conflict with other people. But when you have good mental health, you have healthy relationships, one with boundaries and empathy so that you can hold space for others' emotions. You have effective communication, which means that in your relationships, you have a mutual respect for one another, you have clarity and understanding. Next up is daily functioning, and this is your day to day responsibilities, tasks, or routines that you have for yourself. When you have poor mental health, you may struggle to get out of bed. You may be neglecting your responsibilities or hygiene, and you may be underachieving at work or school because you are so filled up with all these negative emotions that you don't even have the motivation or capacity to do anything. But when you have good mental health, you're able to meet your daily responsibilities and cope with stress throughout the day. Next is self image. When you have poor mental health, you have poor self confidence, which means that your insecurities or lack of confidence is hindering you from accomplishing your goals or being the person that you aspire to be. You may feel worthless or unlovable, but when you have good mental health, you have a sense of self worth and acceptance, even with your imperfections, because no one is perfect. So if there are some areas that you feel like you can improve in, you can acknowledge it, you can accept it, and you can do something about it. Because if we believe we can, we will. But if we believe we can't, we won't. And last but not least is coping strategies, which is crucial for how you manage your mental health. If you have poor mental health and you are experiencing in a crisis or find yourself in a dark place, you may rely on unhealthy coping strategies. which means that you may seek out a substance or drug. You may seek out an unhealthy relationship, maybe even calling up an ex who wasn't good for you, or you may avoid those strong emotions. And when we avoid those emotions, we are suffering in silence. But when you have good mental health, you are using healthy coping strategies. You are exercising, you are talking about your emotions to friends or families who make you feel safe. You are using mindfulness strategies. And my favorite, you are seeing a therapist. Now I have some homework for you. I want you to assess your mental health today, in the present moment while you are watching this video. On a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 being the best you've ever felt in your lifetime and 10 being the worst you've ever felt in your lifetime, where do you lie at on that scale today? And if you're not happy about how you rate on that scale, I would encourage you to think about some ways you can improve on your mental health. I hope this video was helpful. And if you are struggling with your mental health, I would encourage you to seek out a mental health professional because there is no right or wrong in therapy. There is only room to explore. I wish you all the best of luck in your healing journey. And remember that there's no time limit. If you want to continue to see more mental health videos, please like, subscribe, or comment so that I know you're serious.